open.
Oh, very good. Well, did you,
Go ahead.
oh, okay.
Yes.
So, no, I think I remember we had these questions, and then everybody kind of had a little bit of an assignment, right? Were we finding this information out?
Yes, it tells somewhere here what each of you were going to tackle. Well, did you, so yours was to type up the wonderful work we got done that day, or however I wanna say
It
it.
won't take me long, I'll do it tonight.
Okay,
Okay, I apologize.
and then we need some hard copies of that for people like me that are not that good with Google yet.
Okay, I apologize. I did not realize.
fine.
that
You
I
wouldn't have
was-
known anyhow.
Yeah.
You'd already gone.
Oh.
And then I'll have the word for word, the scope and purpose that you wanted me to put in first in
Yes.
our cover page.
So one of the things I was thinking, because actually Chris, Emily, and I sit on another committee.
Yes,
The,
resiliency,
yes.
yes, and that's
so
in here
they're very,
too.
very, very interested in this, at
Right.
least as an off. So I was thinking, okay, because I read them a little bit of this, and they need more, like if you're doing a grant, which I've written, like they want like more details. But that's not what the purpose of this was for. But I thought maybe might be, what if we like had a meeting where we all talked? Is that possible to have the two committees come in? Because that way they can ask questions, like, and let, you know, because we're giving information, but I think if everybody was part of it, and then we can maybe collaborate and really get something done, if that's the direction that we haven't 100% decided on what they're doing. But this way, we can maybe even fund this to some extent and answer their questions and vice versa and see if it can work out. What do y'all think?
Yeah, I think eventually we're gonna have to.
I think because it'll at least give the other committee some more groundwork. It'll also help us because then we might also be able to, expand on maybe, like, that'll be a big selling point to the town to say, hey, we're collaborating
Yeah.
with this committee and there's a grant involved in this. So it kind of lays a foundation for,
Grant money might be there to pull this off from the
yeah.
other committee. But it's an uncertainty right now, especially with the situation in
Yeah.
Washington.
right.
But it is a possibility. So I agree with you. I think it's a good idea. So everybody understands what we're looking at.
I mean, we're all kind of all interested in the same thing. I mean, we brought the emerald ash borer, but the resiliency is all about climate and they're looking for something, and it's not a tremendous amount of money, but it would definitely be helpful for this purpose.
Specifically the inventory.
I think it's fine, we can't, at some point, we have to separate which committee does what, you know what I mean?
For sure, absolutely.
So that's,
But it'd
because
be,
we wanna go on with this, pass the inventory to possible steps to
right,
take down some trees and things, as Chris pointed out, so.
Well, to make sure that we have an inventory is where I think the resiliency left it off at that point. But although
Yeah.
everything's in place as far as I can see now, with all the changes that were made.
yeah.
Everything's ready to go.
What, for the grant? What do you mean, everything?
Well, as far as an outline of what we are interested in having the town review.
Oh, for us, I'm
Yeah.
sorry,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, and this way, because the goal of the resiliency is to get the grant and to apply it to something, I mean, you have to, but, so they can help us facilitate what we need, and then we're serving the purpose for them to say, okay, their involvement is really just writing the grant and getting it, they're not, monitoring the grant, that
Yeah.
goes on to
Okay,
whoever's responsible for that.
so, where this discussion of work meeting is, which is where we are, I will put that you have suggested this and we consider having a joint meeting.
Yeah.
When do they meet?
I don't remember when, so Ralph is it Ralph, right?
Yeah,
Who's in
Ralph
charge? So, what I can do is maybe just send Ralph an email and include you, or, include, and just say, hey, we had a meeting and we're thinking it'd be smart to, have a meeting for us to collaborate, answer questions, ask questions, and see what,
But the idea is, since you have said they already are happy with this concept of ours, that we would merge for the grant, the purposes of the grant?
I think whether we're merging, but I think collaboration is a really
Oh,
good.
let's use that word.
Yeah, we're collaborating, so we each have a purpose, right? So their purpose is to take this, to try to maximize and get a grant that benefits our town, and we're working on, and they both follow under climate and
Sure.
environmental.
But now we have the issue of, do we do this first before we go to the town at all? Because we're asking in a different way now.
I think we should work with them first personally, because then we know if because it's not a definite yet, so that way we could have that in our, know, yes, that this is the direction that the committee wants to go, the resiliency committee. And then also, when you're presenting to the town, I mean, it's a pretty good sell.
Yeah, it
to
is.
say, hey, we're gonna collaborate, we have an opportunity to get this grant if it's awarded, but it also brings it to their responsibility to say, the Emerald Ash Borer, which is now in Acadia, so it's kind of surrounding us at this point, is what we need to do.
The consultants from Augusta, Linda,
Yes.
were here, and they thought there were criteria in the grant, potential grant, that would fit nicely for this project. And
Who are these consultants now? You've kind of lost me. For which?
The
For what?
resiliency committee
For the
because of
resiliency committee.
consultants.
Yeah.
Got it.
there is two consultants come in, a gentleman and a lady. The committee has struggled historically trying, they had a generator project they were looking at. We're still looking at it. I say they, it's me too, still looking at it. We think this project may have some legs to it, the
Okay.
Emerald Ash Borer project, so.
It fits more with the requirements, and we're trying, there might be a future grant for maybe getting a generator that's separate from the resiliency, I think
Remember
that's
that
something.
issue that you guys were working on too, yeah.
Yes, but this just fits in line, it would serve the town really well, it also fit the, resiliency committee to find something, so the consultants were hired to help write the grant or facilitate, give the information, so also they're in communication with the state, and they know, because this is actually a state grant, it's not a
Yeah,
federal grant, but
right.
then we
Oh,
all know
good
it
to
kind
know.
of, yeah, it feeds into different things, but he said that this grant is, they believe is secure.
Meaning, you
Meaning that
don't see any
Because
cutting
the
of it.
funds sit with the state, not the federal government.
It's already been allocated.
Got it, and it's already allocated. I was just gonna ask that, actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
It would be good to meet with them so we just can have like one
Yeah.
thing that we're talking about, one message.
Right.
I agree, yeah, that,
Good idea.
Thing let's agree on, so
Yeah.
that's an excellent
Yes.
idea.
yeah, it is. So that changes a bunch of things. For instance, I don't need to contact Sue because we're not ready to
No,
go
I
before the
would wait.
council.
Yeah.
And I'm having troubles with people getting back to me,
Yeah.
trying to figure out a price. So
Doggone
that
it.
delays it as well.
Right,
So Humane got back to me, but he didn't have really anything to offer. I think that the projects are very independent. He couldn't really speak to what the charge per hour could be, if they even worked under somebody else, but I think that they are. Like what I've seen from Bangor is they're working under the city forester.
so that's gonna be hard to get any answer out of them regarding a cost too,
Right.
probably.
So can I ask
Yeah.
a question? Do you mind me calling you M? I don't know
Sure.
why I feel really comfortable calling you M.
Sure.
But have you reached out to, you said Bangor, but have you reached out to them to find out what they're paying them? Like, in other words, we're going through UM, but maybe.
Yes, so that's who I'm having troubles hearing back from.
Okay.
So what I'm hoping is I keep trying and at some point they will answer the phone instead of trying to get them to return a voicemail. So
They're using their forester, you think, anyway.
right. So
That's gonna
just
muddy the waters, but,
I think the only way to really get an estimate is to figure out like, okay, how long did it take for so many acres? And then we can translate that into
Right.
the area that we're doing, the town gave me a list of all of the properties and what sizes they are, so we can highlight the ones that we think need to be inventoried, and we can calculate the acreage.
So that's actually really important if you have that grid, because whatever we submit to the town when we're giving them this, that we should show that grid and say, this is what we recommend as far as doing all of that, so that's wonderful. Even if
Yeah,
we-
that's a step, that's
Yeah,
good to have
Even if we blow
that.
it up a little bit, you know,
Right.
and make it so that part of the presentation. Tonight, I'm actually going on that hike with somebody who might have some information for some other areas that they're doing these assessments. So I will write myself a message that I don't forget to ask. But
But I will add that, so I gotta go back to the email, but it sounds like UMaine is working on the inventory at Great Pond.
that's who
But-
I'm gonna meet with, yeah.
Right, but sounds like not underneath the forester. Like they have a forester, but
Yeah.
it doesn't seem like that forester is involved with the inventory.
Okay, I'm gonna find, that's
So-
the question, because it's the person I'm with is involved with the Great Pond assessment or has the knowledge of it. So I'll see if I can, they were gonna send me an email. My next question, have you sent any emails or is it just trying to make a phone call?
Yeah, I send an email out to Great Pond. I don't have any emails for Bangor yet,
Okay.
but
So that's
that's
Landon,
another
right?
next step.
And so we'll,
Probably Jennifer more than Landon.
Yeah,
Jennifer,
who's your
who-
contact, Suzanne, at Great Pond?
It's Rich Penault.
Okay,
Do you know him?
I know of him,
Yeah.
he started after I left.
Yeah.
so can we just flat out call them and ask them
I will,
prices or something of this
Yeah.
nature?
Well, they're gonna harvest their own if they're gonna do anything.
Well, I know, but
Unless
for the
I
inventory
believe-
part of it though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're talking about inventory.
That's
Yeah.
true.
they're doing something and I don't remember, that's what I'll ask Rich tonight.
Yeah.
And I'll ask him, he was gonna send me some information. I told you I'll forward it, and so tonight when I write myself a message.
You know, I've got a couple, I was supposed to help you on that, and I didn't, and I apologize for that, but I've got a couple.
You gave me the contacts.
Yeah, I know, but
That's
I
fine,
probably
yeah.
can find a couple more. And the other thing is that downstate, is a lot more experience with this from small towns that have had to deal with it already.
Right, we could call other
So
places.
there are a lot of websites that have information. I did find a professional journal article about cost estimates. It was from the period of 2004 to 2009,
Hmm.
and it was so detailed, I thought, it's beyond my scope of understanding all these things that they were talking about in there. But there has been cost analysis done. I think mostly for logging purposes, in conjunction with the removal of the trees in anticipation of the arrival, and then trying to figure out all that stuff. And I said, that's enough. It's beyond my scope of understanding. But I know that there are costs. You can go on there and see what towns, most of the time it's complaining, we budgeted 200,000, it came up to 280,000. But
Oh,
who
dear
knew?
me.
But who knew? Yeah, that may be way beyond anything that's going on here.
Hmm.
But I know for years, you just don't know until you go in and do it. And for years, the forester at Great Pond said, we don't have any ash to speak of. I thought, there's gotta be some ash in there somewhere. Now, of course, they're finding it, but, so you'll get different opinions as to what's going on, but that shouldn't stop you. But I will double check downstate. I know Portland was really struggling money-wise when they were dealing with it here a couple of years ago. And I mean, it really hit them hard because they had no preparation for it at all.
Yeah, I think that a lot of times when you start a project, it's usually underestimated, but assessment is very different than when you're saying cutting trees, because when you're doing, at least if we're outlining the area, we have a better idea of, like the scope of, we're not going into forest, we're doing we're doing town, impact. So it's, they're specific locations, whereas if you're doing, Portland is a lot bigger and,
Some of our properties here in town, I don't even think have an ash tree on them, but that's what we'll have to find out. So some of those spots on that list were just like half an acre or a quarter of an acre.
Right.
And I got a hunch that could be assessed just like that. It's either there or it isn't there.
Right.
And move on. So, but my interest has always been, locations where a dead tree could present a threat for safety or access or whatever.
So what we can do is, you know, when we get to the point where we're gonna hire someone, we come up with questions, or we have certain requirements, is what we're gonna say, okay, we want a spreadsheet made, we want the areas that are outlined, you know, to assess, and we have a certain, you know, is there a risk? You know, is there a risk of it falling, and, you know, could it be on trails? Is there, you know, if it's off trail, you know, what's the risk of them, you know, falling and hurting somebody? So those are kind of things that we can set up when we get to the point of, you know, hiring someone to do an assessment. It doesn't have to be complicated, it's just be whatever questions that we think are necessary for us to know.
Can we just stop everything a minute and approve the minutes so I can say we did something
Yeah.
according to Hoyle, please?
Yes.
Would someone,
I move we approve the minutes that we
Second.
have.
all right,
for
thank you
November,
all.
for March.
Okay. Another idea since we're still on this subject, really, we could approach someone that has an arborist license. I know some small folks that do this kind of work. And what if we put it to them? This is what we're looking for. Can you give us a cost proposal?
So and I don't know what the town is, but usually what you have to do is a request for a proposal. So you have to submit, like, those are the questions, you write it out. You can't just give it to somebody.
So you're saying that this needs to be from the town?
It usually has to
Not
be
from
full-
us.
right,
Mhm.
like we're trying to get an idea for costs, get an assessment, but usually what happens in my experience, you do a request for a proposal or request for information or whatever it is, and if you do that, then people, arborists, smaller ones, you might be able to tell people, they post it on the website, and then people bid it. It might be a couple weeks, then they say, okay, we give them that spread, that layout, the map, and they say, okay, based on what you're asking, the things that we're requiring, we want an assessment done, we want it done X, Y, and Z, these are the questions we're gonna ask. We propose it's gonna cost X amount of dollars, and then there's a process and they win it, and that's how.
I understand. I was looking to see if they could give us a ballpark, because this,
Well, that might
going to the
be,
council without any cost at all is,
Well, I think a request for proposal could just be a question to ask Sue, like, can you write this on letterhead that we're looking for that, but that's along the lines of what I was thinking for, I found a network of foresters.
There you go.
They swear a sustainability oath, and there's like within short driving distance, there's like 6 around us. Because it seems like a lot of communities are using foresters for this. And a lot of them are also using UMaine. And so a forester could give a good idea. I did ask Great Pond as well who their forester is. Because maybe it doesn't sound like that forester is doing anything in regards to this, but.
so what usually happens in terms of, like, when we're talking about, we're talking about 2 separate things. We're talking about just getting a ballpark understanding, which might be a request for information, that's what you're doing. But what the other part is sometimes if there's already a contract in place and there's relationships, this town has relationships. So you can actually jump onto a contract that's already in place with another town and say, okay, we're gonna use, you know, it just depends on how the relationships are. So that's a Sue question, is, you know.
now we had, besides Bangor, was it Brewer? Somebody else was already doing it.
Brewer's got I think they've got their house forester, I call house forester. What Emily's talking about is private foresters, which we all hire at times
Right.
for various. And then, of course, Karen tried to contact the service forester at the beginning, but
Yes,
there
I know.
wasn't anything there. So those are the distinctions among the different foresters. Great Pond has their own forester, who's Roger Green, thank you. She's been out there for a long time. I think he's still involved with them, although he was sort of disengaging professionally because of his time. I'm not sure that they have another one in place. I also think they're probably doing an inventory with Jennifer and other staff members, the gentleman you were talking about.
I know we haven't mentioned Jake in a while, but
No,
nor has he been in touch with us since, you know, the difficulties with the old proposal that he had done back in 2011 or whenever it was.
there's information out there, so. And if I'll see what I can do too. Not to cover what you've already done,
Oh, no, I'm happy.
I'll find out from Great Pond and see what they've got in mind. 'Cause maybe they've got something going on with the town of Wallen too. It's hard to tell. They're here as well as in Corona Island, so they're in all three towns.
Okay, so in order to be prepared, first of all, we need to contact this resiliency committee and set up a date for that.
Yep.
Then we need the hard copies for my sake
I will
and theirs.
I'll have it tomorrow.
Okay.
I will work on it either tonight or first thing in the morning. I'm just going to clean it up and what I'll do is, I'll email it to you. It'll be on Google Drive, so we can either print it or, I have a printer.
If you can email it to me on my regular email address, that would be great,
I will do that.
Yeah,
just in
an
case I'm
email
not in a
link would be-
googly
yeah,
state of
would be
mind.
Great,
Huh?
yeah.
Yeah.
Just in case I'm not Googling well. Okay,
I have the chair's email for you,
of,
the chair of the resiliency.
okay,
Ralph, RALPH, Chapman, CHAPMAN, at zoho.com, ZOHO.
wait a minute here, ZOHO.com?
Yep.
Okay, and he's the chair.
And did you guys have a date for next meeting of the resiliency committee?
Yes.
Did we?
No, actually, no, we're doing it through email. We just had a meeting.
Ah, an email me, yeah.
No,
Doing the
someone's gonna
scheduling through email.
schedule, we just had a
So they're
meeting.
working on it.
Yeah.
You just had a
We
meeting
just
last
had a meeting,
week, right?
yes.
The
This
fifth.
is Stephen, by the way. He's also on the committee.
Hi, Stephen. Now, do you want me to email him? Or
Yeah.
do you want to where you're already on the committee, one of you?
I mean, I think you can, whatever you're comfortable, if you're comfortable sending an email and,
I will, I'll
Yeah.
copy you guys and
Yeah.
he can discuss it with
Yeah.
you.
So is it feasible the next meeting of the resiliency committee would be the joint meeting with the conservation committee?
yeah, maybe make that
We haven't set one
yeah,
yet. There's
yeah.
no date.
But that was the question.
yeah,
Could be.
yeah,
Could be or not.
yeah.
I don't
Let's
know.
see if
Ralph
we
and
do.
Linda.
Because
can
it needs to
decide.
be with them because we're gonna have the consultants here and I think that's also important.
That's a good point
But you have
too.
to schedule the consultant's time as well for that.
Right,
Oh.
well,
that you
but
ran.
they're a wealth of information.
Right, so we
So-
want to have the meeting when they're there.
Yes, yeah.
That's important.
They record the meetings, so I've watched the resiliency meeting recording, so you can see these excellent consultants at work. They're very impressive, I think.
Yeah, I would agree.
There is some frustration though with not having information that Ralph desired at the time that we last met, but that comes with the territory.
Okay, so we'll have copies. I really wish you'd, if you can, make a couple, 2, 3 hard copies and leave them with Rich or
Okay.
Luke.
Okay.
Somebody that I can grab them from.
Sure,
That would be helpful so I can sit and read and
I
think.
understand.
Okay, so that's where we're gonna be next on all
Yeah.
that, eh?
Yep.
Okay. So, it looks like we're down to recreational signage. I think, poor Emily, that's you too. You were gonna talk to
I
Parks and
forgot my
Recreation.
notebook at home, but I can send out an email, more detailed. But so off the top of my head, first, nobody has it. Like nobody's doing it. Nobody is, doesn't seem to be anybody who's actually currently
that-
responsible for any of this.
Because you had, yeah, that's,
Yeah.
happens a lot.
That's what I found.
But you did think in
So-
the past, because that's how you got stuck with this, that the recreation department or. one
Right,
of
so I
these is
started
working-
out contacting him and got a little bit of information and then also talked to Rich. And so the signs for the Arboretum are in pretty bad condition, it sounds like.
Yes.
That was the biggest one. There are signs at the the kayak launch.
There is? Oh,
I
Here we
think
go
that's what he
again with-
said, but
Yeah.
I'll type up my details.
okay.
Um,
The signs, as far as I know, are at the boat launch, but the kayak launch is a little place all by itself
right,
up on that hill, and you go down over the hill,
right.
and as far as John and I knew, there was no sign there. But maybe there is now.
Do you know that they have the signs that say, that there's a pole and it says, Acadia this way, or, down here? It's actually the first time I've seen it.
The compass
The
point
compass.
sign.
Why couldn't they just have a sign, like, somewhere on the trail that points this way? Like, it doesn't have to be, obviously you need a sign. Is that something, it'd be kind of cool, like at the beginning, or, to say, hey, kayak launch this way, boat launch this
They're
way.
both off of the road.
Right.
So it would be
There's no, like, place where they meet?
no, they're separated by marsh.
Okay.
So you have the boat launch here and then a marsh, and you have the road right here, and then the kayak launch is like this trail off of the
Off by
road.
itself. There is a parking lot up there.
Right.
People use it for fishing and hiking.
So you
Yeah.
couldn't put one there and say, let people know? I mean, I don't know, I have to go down there, because it's down starting
Where
to warm
that
up.
little parking spot is would be okay. Something, otherwise no one in the world is gonna get it. That you go to that, up on the hill to park and then go down over, and that's where
Right,
you
yeah.
put your
And I
kayaks
mean,
in.
at the same time though, like, I know some people use it, but from doing the boat inspections, most people with their kayaks still just come
Are
to the
using the
regular
dock?
boat launch.
Yeah. But we have it.
So we
And
can
as
have
far
a
as I'm
sign.
concerned, someone grab a shingle and paint on it and
Yeah.
hang it up. It doesn't need to be that hard,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What if we just stick like this thing so people know? People maybe don't use it because they don't know about it.
So there is a new kiosk at the boat launch that I will be working on filling up with stuff this summer.
Okay.
So maybe
Huh.
maybe something just for people to know next time that there's a kayak launch up there.
Yeah, I mean,
It was a specific thing, Suzanne, that when this committee, way back in the day, worked on all that we wanted to make sure was available for people. And so we specifically, at the top of that little knoll, which we used to always call the Boy Scout landing, where people would park and go fishing, that we had a special trail for people to put their kayaks in there and then carry them up to their car, and it was easier. for
okay,
them.
well then I think, like I said, even like you said, if someone just nailed something in and had a sign that said kayak launch and an arrow this way.
That's all we
Because
need.
sometimes, we assume you know about it, or we know about it, but sometimes people even who've lived here for a long time might not even realize that it's there or how easy it is,
Yeah.
Right.
right?
And I don't think I don't even know what you call it. The piece of property across from the launch.
Right.
They have a lot of names for that.
Yeah.
The sheep field, the
The
point.
Silver Lake Point,
Yeah.
something of that nature.
No signs.
Yeah,
That's right.
That's right.
So
That's right.
The
yeah.
Amherst Point is even further up the road to that. so.
Right.
I'm sorry, I interrupted. You said that with the kiosk sign, that you were gonna be putting things on there. How did you come to assume that responsibility, putting things on that sign?
The coordinator of the courtesy boat inspections. So this was so there's a committee for protecting Silver Lake.
Which is called,
it wouldn't
serious
really
committee?
have a name.
it's not waterfront, that's different. That's down here, right?
Right.
Is it a town committee?
Silver
or a
Lake,
group
Silver Lake Stewards. So it's to run the program for the courtesy boat inspections, is the biggest thing. You've got Silver Lake Estates on the committee, two
Oh,
people
yeah,
from
so
Maine
Hawes,
Water.
Mike
You've got-
Hawes.
Yeah, and you've got Dave Michaud locally with Maine Water on the committee. And then you have Mary Jane Dillingham, who is, she's the head of conservation for Maine Water. So she runs these meetings.
What's her name
And she's
again,
out of Mary Jane Dillingham. And she's out of the Lewiston, Auburn area.
So you got this responsibility because of the boat monitoring
Right,
task that you took on.
right. So we had requested an info booth be there so that we could put things related to courtesy boat inspections on there, because like the Toddy Pond launch, for example, has this kiosk, and it's got all of the information regarding courtesy boat inspections on there.
Is it like a shadow box with a, like you put, like,
Yeah, I don't have the key for it yet, but
Yeah,
I
'cause
need to get the key and start putting stuff on it.
because it might be good, I'm thinking if there was even, a map, a sign map that showed all these spots around, maybe that's there already, but to say, okay, here's the lake, right? Here's like, this is where you are, and then have an X right there, have the, the kayak launch and the boat launch and the check area, whatever. So that way people are visual. They don't want to read a bunch of stuff, but if it's a map and whether we have but make it simple, but those are.
We've done that in the past, the town has for downtown,
Yeah.
the various things and different things along the waterfront.
Yeah, but if it can be maybe in the kiosk, or whether we have or a sign that just shows so people are walking on the trail and they can look and like, oh, here we are, you're right here.
Right.
Go this way, whatever.
But kudos for having this thing at all, so that's great.
Yeah, it was exciting to
kiosk
get.
thing,
We just
yes.
asked Sue for it, and she was like, okay, I'll have Town Garage build it.
There you
Wow.
go, that's what I'm looking for.
That's a-
Is something
yeah.
of that nature for the sign.
Yeah, so like even just to put inside there, just make a printout of a map
Right.
and just start it that
Yeah,
way.
Sue was a big support of it. We asked for a picnic table for inspectors to have a place to sit. And she was like, oh yeah, they made it. She had the Town Garage make it. They anchored it down. And she was like, we drilled a hole for an umbrella. She bought umbrellas so that like they would have a shade. Because you sit there in the sun all
Right,
day.
right,
That's
right.
what you do.
That's nice, good.
So,
I
yeah.
wonder if there's a master list of signage for this locality. I'm sure the state has it, all the signs they have out there. If there was ever a master list developed, there's gotta be somewhere, a list that the Public Works would have showing all the signs that exist in the town.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to kind of get at. And it seems like there's just
Memory.
disconnected,
Yeah.
memory, disconnected communication. Yeah.
So, so back to the Arboretum signs, there's no one in charge of them, that's what you said.
Yes, right. And
And so
they're in quite
if we wanted new
disrepair.
signs, it sounds like if we asked Sue Lassard to have them make new signs, they would.
Maybe. If we gave like a clear, concise list of like, these are the signs, they're in disrepair, this is what they're supposed to say.
Where's the original notification of those signs? They must have had a list when they made them.
Oh, that
It
would
seems
be
like
Roger.
nobody has any information, is what I'm finding. So,
Thank you for at least trying. I
Yeah.
suspected that was gonna be so it's time to rattle that cage, maybe. That's
Right.
kind of a crude way of putting it.
But whose? I mean, that would have been Roger's own doing, and he was the head of this committee then, but he certainly didn't need to ask our permission, he just did it. And,
Well, a lot of times if you don't save things in a place and you keep it in a very neutral place, but if it's saved under Roger's name or saved like on a like it gets lost forever. That happens everywhere in every place that you could ever work. That's why it's important to have files that are accessible to everybody. If this committee, like even the stuff that we have, this committee, it should be in a very general place where anybody who replaces any of us can go and
I
retrieve
think
it.
that's the whole idea behind Mr. Johnson's Google exploits.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
most committees I'm on have a Google Drive as well. Are you guys added to the resiliency drive? There's a drive.
Well,
there,
I don't know, I think so.
Yeah, we're on there, but I did ask about it, and I sense that he's not ready to really get too involved with it right now.
Oh, Ralph, yeah. Yeah,
So
no, I don't think
I pulled my
he's,
horns in and said, don't go, because most of the time, people don't wanna do it, they just don't.
I believe it's Alan that has, like, that set it up and everything. So, I mean,
Cause I can get into it and see
Okay.
what's going on, and I've added a few things, so I'm in there, but I'm not sure everybody on that committee wants to get involved with it. I find a real desire not to from older people my age. So
Yes.
I've stopped pushing. in some of these things.
On the Arboretum signs, Karen, I mean, they're not fancy.
I know.
So it wouldn't be a horrible difficulty to replace them, do you think?
No, but we probably do need to garner the information. It probably doesn't exist anywhere, I guess is
Yeah.
what it sounds like, so.
So we don't even know if, like, one of you that's really sharp on the ball with trees
Yeah.
could go out and find the beat up signs and know.
I've been
Sorry,
taking.
I gotta go call a kid. I knew he wasn't gonna get picked up.
Good luck, thank you.
I've been taking pictures of them for quite a few years, so I could, yeah, I will gather the signs we need for the Arboretum, the new signs, and just put it out.
Yeah, if we had that information, then we could go to Sue and say, could you have the guys cut these up for us, you know? And then one of us maybe would, you know, between you and I, we could tackle labeling or something.
Yeah, no,
As well as the trails in there, maybe. I haven't been on all those
So
trails
the
in a long
Arboretum
time.
signs is one thing, because that's the first thing you're driving in, and they're very decrepit. You look and go, huh, yeah,
Yes,
not something
yes,
the town should be proud of, our Arboretum.
exactly.
So, then the signs on the trails, last time I went, they were fine, but
Okay,
Do you remember the signs on the trees? There was a different system for the trees.
the Arboretum
Yes,
is the trees, yes, it's a
the trees
different
are
system.
identified.
Those are decrepit,
Oh, okay.
but yeah, she knows where a lot of them are. She's been taking
and
pictures.
some are on the ground,
Oh dear.
but I'll go see them when
Trees.
the cherry blossoms are blooming, it'll be fun.
So
I'll get the
collect the
list for how
trees,
Arboretum plants need
Signs.
signs,
info.
Absolutely.
Okay.
in a spreadsheet on the computer.
Oh goodness, these spreadsheets, you guys, I'm just old
Start one for the town and make sure,
Write it down, good enough.
make sure people have it. Annoying email list. Everybody just have this. Save it somewhere.
It's a
All
good
right.
idea.
Yeah, send it to the town manager, send it to Rich, send it to Matt McGinnis, just the chair of the recreation committee.
Who's the chair of the recreation committee?
It just switched to, yeah,
Who?
David Winchester.
Winchester, all right.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay,
Now, you had a lovely name for this, boat inspections waterfront thing, committee.
Silver,
Yeah, it's Silver Lake Stewards.
That's
Stewards,
it.
Silver Lake Stewards,
It's a
yeah.
good name.
And the Lake Stewards of Maine is a wonderful organization.
Yes, it
Yes,
is. I've
and
worked with
that's-
them.
Ton of
Yeah,
info, yeah.
I have to, tomorrow I have a training
Linda,
that I have to do.
just so you know,
With
my
them.
name is spelled with a capital
On Zoom?
F, not PH.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I was like, I can't go.
So
I
it's
can't
D-E
do that.
capital F.
I beg your pardon.
That's okay.
Okay, we'll fix that. Okay, so we've got a little bit of progress on that. Emily is still working on, see if we can come up with some kind of a ballpark figure that we could use, especially when we meet together with the other committee regarding getting an inventory done. And it's
I
ballpark.
mean, you're right, like, to go on a grant, we're gonna need something official looking, and it's frustrating, because at this point, like, I'm like, how are we gonna get something official?
I know.
Because I don't think we can get it from the UMaine students in time, because it's going to be students who aren't even there yet.
Yeah,
It's gonna be students who are there in the fall, and we can't get any kind of quote from them about how many hours they're willing to give, what their rate is, and we're not gonna be able to get any of that before the grants due.
So I think, it just, like I said, one of the things, if we come up with, you know, we can do a request for proposal, a request for information, however, whatever Sue, we need to talk to Sue on what the process is. It doesn't take long, it's not hard to do, there's a process. They submit it, people who are looking for, you know, they're looking to do these type of assessments, they're looking for these every day. They go on these sites, town sites, and they look for these RFPs, and they wanna bid on it. That's the best way for us to do it, and then we can get, you will get written documentation. They're gonna respond
That's
to
what I
every
want.
one of,
Yeah.
every single one of our questions. We just have to say what we wanna, a paragraph or two, whatever, and then the town is gonna have their own format, but we have to provide them with what the summary of what we're asking, and then questions for them to answer, and then also a price.
Yeah, my concern is that we're not gonna be able to get that regarding UMaine, though.
Well, they may not, but there could be other foresters or arborists that are gonna respond to this. And they're gonna give us a quote, and they're gonna say, okay, that map that you have, and that we're gonna highlight these areas, that's gonna
Yeah,
be part of that.
I'm just concerned that if we wanted to use both to reduce costs, we're just not gonna be able to get that information for the UMaine students. We'd only be able to get it for arborist or forester.
Yeah. Well, the students would be free anyways, correct? Oh,
No.
You pay per
No, I
hour.
think we looked into that and it
Yeah.
wasn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
So.
And it seems like it's pretty independent, but it would be students who start in the fall. Masters.
Right, it's part of their like they would do it, and it's also, they're benefiting from it because it's part of their
Yeah.
program.
But because it is labor, they are paid.
Okay,
So what kind of timeline, though? Obviously, that's gonna be more dragged out, and more communities are going to be hitting up the University of Maine. Whereas if you do this request for information for any,
yeah, we need to
Forest or
do that,
arborist.
yeah, we need to do that in this now anyways, because we're
this
under
grant proposal's June.
June, so we need to get this information, we have time, but we need to do it
Yeah.
now. And that way, it's legit, we're a government entity, and we're not saying, hey, buddy, can you do this for us, so. it's
okay, so
different-
who's approaching Sue and
I can do it. She usually responds to me.
then, do you have enough specifics to, like Suzanne said, to lay out what we're asking for?
Well, I think she's just
Yeah,
gonna
for-
ask, she's
About-
gonna.
about getting
what the
a
process. I mean, so whoever does this will say, this is what we need, this is from you, and so basically it's a summary of pretty much what we've already done.
Well, that's why I wanna know who is gonna do this, if she says I'm ready to go, then let's do it.
Okay, well, I will work with Emily, so maybe Emily and I, can we collaborate on this?
Yeah.
Okay, so you'll talk to Sue, let me know, and then we'll go from there, what she says.
Awesome.
If the grant doesn't come through,
At least
we're anticipating right now that the grant won't come through, I assume, pretty much, in hopes that it does.
no, I think it's the other way around,
Okay.
right? I
Well, I
think,
just think the point is just to be prepared.
I think you're
if.
right about be prepared, but what we're gonna have from our side is we're gonna have true numbers, and no matter what, the town will be able to make a decision.
Sure.
That's
Right, well, this is for inventory.
right.
So Chris, did you say you don't expect the grant to come through, or you
No, I
did?
didn't say that at all. No,
Okay, I couldn't hear
I'm always
you.
anticipating things like what happens if
But,
Where would
the
that
grant,
Be ready.
that doesn't happen.
yeah,
Then
okay,
what?
okay.
That's all. The big problem the town, or all towns are gonna have, and I mentioned this before, is the private sector. The town will hire people to go through their public lands. But then citizens are gonna experience the same situation on their own property, and
Right.
pressure. All the towns get pressure on citizens to help them out.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to pressure the town to make sure people have information on.
And that's
what their
been on our
options are,
minutes,
yeah.
Emily, right? We've talked about that's gonna be one of our responsibilities, is
Right.
to push for, on our blessed Google site and wherever else.
I thought we were already on the website for the town already with some information. Didn't we already do that? I think Rich already put some information on
Some,
the
yeah,
Emerald
but I mean,
Ash
we may
Borer.
have to update it, because
Yes.
we're getting new information, and-
Yes.
and advice, and keep it simple advice.
I did save Bangor's page for Emerald Ash Borer, just for some ideas when we get more detailed. It's really well laid out, their section for it.
Good,
Check that when I get home.
yeah.
That's their webpage, you said.
For the Emerald Ash Borer, yeah. We're not reinventing the wheel. It's really good, Emily.
Yeah, that's a good one to look at.
I was in Belfast a couple months ago and saw a horrible situation in their big park in the middle of, there's a gully that goes down through there. And it's all giant green and white ash, probably green ash, this big around in the gully. and underneath was all the Japanese knotweed. So once those trees die, that thing's gonna just explode with knotweed,
Yeah.
and goes right down through the middle of that park. And I thought, this is really unfortunate, a double whammy, but I thought they'll deal with it however they can.
And
Wonder
so,
if they bushwhack it every year.
Well, yeah, but once the trees go, it's gonna be even
Yeah.
harder. Because once that stuff gets in there, you can't get it out.
what's it look like? I don't know. Japanese knotweed, do I?
Bamboo.
Bamboo.
Oh, well, okay. But it just said,
There's a ton up at Miles Lane.
yeah,
And so I
So invasive.
break my leave no trace rule with my kids. You wanna go break off branches and play with it, go ahead.
Yeah.
He likes to grab pieces of, because he thinks it's bamboo, so, I'm like, yeah, they cut it back every year because it's invasive, have at it.
You can't
Yeah.
get rid of it, you just can't.
No,
Great Pond is struggling with it now too, in the worst possible locations. Along
where it's
stream.
wet, yeah.
We tried a lot of different things, and some of them weren't very popular, but it's still there.
I did trail work on Delaware and Pennsylvania, and it was the sumac.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
And the berries that just you try to dig these things up by the roots, but the problem is that those seeds drop everywhere.
Yep.
And it smells terrible. It smells like rotting peanut butter. It's absolutely terrible. But
If you wanna see invasives, we got them all on our property. Everything is there, we've got them all, I think.
I see. Well, there's always new ones too. I mean, that people didn't realize were going to be invasive until they settled in,
You're right.
you know?
There's a few, they're on the lookout of some grasses and some vines coming into Maine, yes, as the climate warned.
and in the water.
Oh,
So
the
the boat
water.
inspections are
Oh,
for.
That scares me the most, absolutely.
That
At
lake,
least Alamoosic got off the list.
yeah,
now.
that was
Yeah.
not, right? That's good.
So Suzanne, under the agenda, under Public Works, that was you that was gonna ask about the signs, but I think we might be kinda up to speed with that.
Okay,
That we know that we need to ask Sue if we can have some help once
yeah.
we gather the information and Karen takes a look at her pictures and whatnot.
And I did not contact the Scout project, I dropped the ball on that, and I haven't checked with Rich. Who is the Scout master of this town? Does anybody know?
I don't.
I'll find out.
Because he could maybe make, he or she, the trail signs
Right.
for down there. And
Oh, the
and I'm
Arboretum.
talking about, not the one you're speaking of that tells everybody this,
Right,
but locally.
right,
You know, I've parked my car, I've started to walk, and now I'm lost,
right.
type of signs, you
Right.
know. And we could use those too, like you said, Emily, on the Silver Lake side, because it's not clear to people that they can, I don't think it's terribly clear to them, they can go on out and use the
A
point.
little information campaign too, like nobody knows that's over there. I mean, like,
That's right.
not nobody, but
Yeah, you're just saying it's
People have no idea.
underutilized.
It is underutilized, and it's really a lovely spot.
The,
Yeah, so you're talking about the boat launch,
No,
No, across from the boat launch, the point and all that acres that we own there.
but how do you get into there? You go
You have
past
to
the boat
walk the
launch,
trail that,
past the boat launch, past the kayak launch.
right.
Yep.
not by
And
the-
then down that, by that through
Power
that
line.
power line.
Right.
And that has never been marked,
no,
ever.
no,
And
that,
but why, so why, I wonder?
I don't know.
do they put mile markers or do they put like marker, like, how do they do it here? Is that something that would be, how many miles is it or how many acres? So every so often, even if there's I've been on trails where you see the orange marker, right? So every so often, you're on the right trail.
I don't think there's anything at
There's
all.
nothing.
Zero.
No,
Just one trail goes into that point.
it's just one big trail. Karen, you walked it not too long
Yeah,
ago.
behind the town garage on the Silver Lake trails, there is a kiosk sign there with a map that gives you that information,
Okay.
so. So
There's
that's there.
89 acres,
Oh,
Suzanne, to
wow.
answer your question. But the trail is just one main trail.
Right,
And there's 62 acres on the Central Street side that we're talking about where the Arboretum is.
Okay, and so they're not marked.
the Arboretum trails, that's the Silver Lake trails.
Yeah,
that
those,
are marked.
there were some signs, they're kind of in tough
But I mean,
shape.
on the trail, like, so you just would stay on the trail, like, there's no diversion off the trail, you don't have to worry
There
about.
may be, I haven't been on the Central Street side for ages, there might be a couple little
I need to
signs.
go do this.
Yeah, the colors are there, you can, if I can figure it out, you could figure it
Okay.
out. It's
There's
pretty,
a canoe
it's pretty
launch,
good.
I'm
there's a
gonna
couple
go.
of
Yeah.
sort of
Yeah.
campsites and a couple of benches
Yeah.
and a trail.
He did specify no camping anymore.
Who did?
Rich,
Oh, he did?
no camping.
From,
And any
that
of
was
the
never
trails?
decided one way or the other. Did he take it to the council or something?
I have no idea.
No, that's never been, sorry, but
I never knew anybody who
that has to be
camped there.
decided by somebody.
I always thought when I was a kid.
Especially on the other side, if
you weren't
there's
supposed to
89
camp
acres, why
anywhere
couldn't
around
there
there.
be
The kids
camping?
did.
Yeah,
They pitched
Yeah.
their tent, especially on the Central Street.
Unless he
along the way.
knows, and of course, he's in the loop all the time. That was left up in the air all those years ago when this
Yeah.
committee stopped meeting. We had never come to any
I'm sure
conclusion.
there's like liability issues and
There-
scheduling
yeah, there
issues
is.
And trash issues, I mean, those are the issues.
One of the
that-
last meetings Roger ever had with us when he was still here was on that subject. He kind of really wanted it in a couple of locations, and it never went anywhere, so. I imagine that if this is what Rich is saying, it's for safety's sake, for liability, but.
Why couldn't they have, I mean, we're really going off, but like, what if it was, a paid, like, in other words, you're saying there's costs associated, but if they made it into an area, I mean, a lot of areas are, they have to pay, you know, it could be minimal, but it could also draw people to our town, you know, that wanna stay and go on a campground if it's
Yes.
89 acres.
You had mentioned that before, that
Yeah.
you were thinking of it that way.
But why wouldn't we?
Well,
Have
others are
like-
thinking of it in terms of protecting the lake, especially now with all the invasives. People are fussier than ever about protecting the water.
Okay.
Fussy's maybe not the right word, but more cautious than ever. So I guess that would be a reason. And as Emily points out, you've got liability issues.
Yeah, I mean,
And there's your waste disposal issues that you
True.
have to.
you just have to set up, I mean,
Deal
a lot
with.
of places, there's campgrounds everywhere, right? I mean, there's on these, like when I was at Great Pond, there's an area for campground, you know, over there.
Is there?
Yeah,
I've never visited it.
so, but I mean, they all have rules and people who camp, you just have to, you know, I mean, there's always gonna be outliers, but I think most people are respectful.
Right, we wouldn't have, anyway, it would be very minimal.
Yes.
We were looking at one or two places on the Central Street side and one or maybe two places on the other side. Near that, there's a little sandy beach, Emily, you probably know, on the back side there of that point
Yeah,
that he had, they had considered and Roger had considered. But as far as I knew, it never went anywhere.
maybe that's something we can look at next time. I know we're getting close. Are we here till 5 or
We're
5:30?
We have till 5:30,
Okay.
if we have anything to be here for.
Okay.
Yes. Then somebody else is coming in. All right, I don't want to give the impression that I'm all gung ho to push camping or anything. I'm just saying,
Right.
as far as I know, it's never been adjudicated particularly one way or the other.
I mean,
But for a day place to go, the point is really quite lovely.
yeah,
And you can come right in on the back side, Karen, of that point. There's a nice little sandy beach where you could come right in with a canoe or a boat and have picnics and that kind of thing. And so it is too bad, Emily, as you say, that nobody really hardly knows they can use it.
do they have where the kayak, we don't rent kayaks or canoes or anything, there's no, it's a launch, but there's nothing where there's,
No. No, many years ago, we hoped that somebody might do that in town but they were thinking of the river, which is a big challenge. I mean, you got a kind of a muddy shore, a 6-knot current. It's not conducive.
Yeah, I don't think that, I live on the river, I can't even imagine, you only can go one way, or the other way, when the town, like.
Well, I did it for years,
Oh, really?
putting a dinghy in to row out to a big boat. And you go kind of nowhere for a couple minutes. It takes a while to get up enough steam to even make progress against it. It's, yeah.
I'm watching this log, which was by the bridge. This current is so small, it looks like it's fixed into the ground. It must be somehow dragging, and there's always a bird sitting on it. It is now almost to, it's turned the, from Verona where Porcupine Island is. Like I watch it every day, I say, oh my God, it's moved. But the current is so strong, this is a huge thing, and it has to be the way it is, cause it's not floating.
Yeah.
It must be in the muck,
Yeah.
but I thought that current is so strong.
Oh,
People
boy.
have died.
Yeah.
Well, Chris, if you can find out anything about a scout that might be willing to make us a few of these little signs, that would be awesome.
Alright. I will. This time I'll do my job.
Okay. All right, we're coming along. Anybody else got thoughts that I have missed here up till now?
You've done a great job so far.
All right, well, we had talked about, and I don't know if it's still necessary. We thought it was at the time, reviewing the forestry plan, the old forestry plan. Does anybody think that that should be done? We were gonna review it.
What is that?
It was part of the, Jake did it, and it was part of the,
Comprehensive plan.
thank you, brain went
Before the
flat.
comprehensive plan, though.
Yes, and it was, and then it was also in our 10-year plan, you know.
You said it was part of the comprehensive plan?
Well, it's,
Yeah,
yes.
it's in the comprehensive.
2017, the comprehensive plan committee made
Okay.
it.
He did it in 2014 or 11.
Oh, I got copies of the comprehensive
I think
plan
it's
because
11,
Jeff.
right?
It
Yeah,
is, but in
So,
2017.
I found like
just a
when
reprint?
he died and I was going through his stuff,
Town Comprehensive Plan Committee
I
on the
found
forest, we just
so much
took
about the
that plan
comprehensive
and threw it
plan.
Oh,
in.
jeez,
No discussion or anything.
Excuse me.
Yeah,
at all,
right.
Because it was an easy.
Yeah,
way to
my
get out
husband
of
my
it.
husband typed it.
Right.
So at this point,
He would type it
though,
with him.
the forest has changed in 15 years.
Yeah.
It has.
And there's also new developments like the emerald ash borer and other,
Invasive species and stuff.
yes, so, I think it's, I skimmed over it. I didn't, I can't even tell you, when I first got on the committee, I kind of reviewed a little bit, but when it's something that's almost 15 years old, and this is my personal feeling, I think that it's a good source of history to go back and refer, but if there was another one done, it would be more, to me.
Right,
it
I
would
understand.
be better to have a,
I agree, but I'm leery to ask the town for a new forestry plan when we're also asking for this other inventory, for this other issue.
yeah, oh, well,
But I'm just one person. You all tell me what you would like to do about that.
well, I think you can make a recommendation, these are recommendations that we should have another one. So I don't think we should ever hold back on asking for something, because I think I said this last time, we give them the information. They're the ones who are they're the executives that make the decision on what they wanna do, but you present it to them, then they own it. We give them the information as to why. It hasn't been updated in, 14 plus years, things have changed, the benefits are X, Y, and Z, and then let them decide.
Okay, I've written it down. I don't know just how you want to do that. Do you want us to just go to Sue and tell her this is what we're thinking? Or do you want to make it a council proposal? And if so, when?
Well, she's gonna be gone the end of June.
Well, okay, Jacob, you know what I mean?
I think we should get through the emerald ash borer, and then we can tackle the comprehensive plan.
All right, so hold until,
Because our committee is continuous, right? So
Yes.
let's just prioritize, the emerald ash borer is priority, the comprehensive plan is not a priority.
A
not
second
the
would be
comprehensive
fine.
plan, that's a separate thing.
The signs would be the
Would be
second,
the
Yes.
next thing up.
But the forestry plan is separate from the comprehensive plan.
Right.
And the reason I mentioned that is that had, right, somebody that has a copy of it, our goals in it, did it?
The forestry plan,
The,
it had goals in it, which is when I came here and Jake was here, I asked him how these things came about, that these certain goals were set up.
yeah,
Because I think in that time, the idea was there was gonna be a harvested
yes,
properties.
oh, yes.
And it may still be a goal of the town to have harvested properties, but that's what's, I wasn't sure about what he was talking about, because he was referring to that plan when he came here to discuss he had people lined up to go in there and do a
guess.
harvest at a time.
Now,
So-
he had people lined up
Yeah,
because he
said-
showed us that equipment? Oh,
Remember, he
goodness.
said he could get, I don't know, it was Pliskin Day or who it was, but they had a harvesting ability to get in there and they had the time to do it. And that's, but the committee decided it wasn't ready.
Right, right.
Because there was a recreation component. Rich had the videos done
Right,
of the area and all
yeah,
that.
and we all thought that that wasn't a crisis right at the moment,
Right.
or a need right at the
So
moment.
that's why he was involved. And, you know,
Yes.
he pointed to that plan as a reference.
So now, 2017,
In 2017, the Comprehensive Plan Committee got together, and when it came time to discuss forestry, they took the forestry plan and threw it in.
just put it in there.
Essentially, that was how it was done.
I went to a few meetings, but
That's right, you were there.
yeah, for a few of those. So what I'm getting at is, that's a 10-year plan, right? So 2027 is when the next one's gonna come out?
Well, some towns go longer, but it's usually recommended every
Okay.
10 years. I
Okay,
think there's a state law involving comprehensive planning too. I don't know what the period of,
I think they do require it.
It
Well,
may be
it's supposed
10
to be
years.
10 years.
yeah, I think you're right, but some towns haven't done it for much longer than that.
Right. So I just wondered about, when I say in the minutes here, revisit the 10-year comprehensive plan, it's because I wanted to take a look at what it said our goals were. And we were going to look, Suzanne had said, well, how many of those have we met?
Right.
I think it's worth looking at. I don't know what you mean by review. Do we sit around and read it? I'm just trying to understand what it is you're
Well,
thinking
it doesn't have to
about.
be a big deal, just read them and see if we've
Yeah,
achieved,
I mean,
accomplished any of them, you know?
Yeah, so that was my question, cause I saw the goals, so let's look at the goals, because even with our next one, if we do it, let's just say that part of the comprehensive plan is dealing with the Emerald Ash Borer. Well, we're already starting to deal with that, right? So
Right.
that could be part of that, because
And I
that's
don't
an
believe that
ongoing-
was, we didn't even know such a
No.
critter existed then.
But I mean, in our current one, or maybe it is dealing, like, we're tackling some things. I think actually you said that the Silver Lake was some of the goals that were on this comprehensive plan,
Talk
and,
about a harvest and.
yeah, and all that kind of stuff, so. I mean, why don't we just pull up the goals and see?
That's all I wanna do, yeah,
Okay.
if you all think we should. I think it would be kinda nice to know if we have achieved some of those. Shouldn't take
Well,
any
the
time,
goals based upon the goals of the town, you know, the discussion on things that could be done will be based upon the goals that the town has set. I would assume would be the town council has set those goals before that study, when that study was done. The question of harvest.
we were supposed to bring them to them.
But he was basing his report on the goals that he was informed of.
Who's he,
Jake.
in that committee?
When
Oh,
did
Jake,
that
well,
2011, he
He
had,
wasn't on the committee at all, Chris, you know.
no, but I thought he was the consultant forester for setting up that forestry
He
plan.
was, but it wouldn't be, in my mind, his place to move forward with any of that
No,
without
but
the
see,
committee.
that, when you hire a forester, they wanna know what your goals are. And then knowing those goals being informed of the goals, then the forester will apply
Right,
whatever treatment that might be best, you know, whatever the goals you have to make the ultimate goal of having a healthy and harvestable forest. I mean,
Right.
If it's just for recreation, the forester's gonna make decisions based upon those goals. So the town would have had to give Jake their goals, and Jake would make that.
well, he got the
forestry
plan with the goals in it.
Okay, I'm gonna leave it at that.
I think, Liz, for the sake of this, because I think we're gonna look at the goals that were set, see what we've met, and then we can kind of go from there. I don't think that the comprehensive plan is high on our priority right now, because we have other priorities.
Yep.
So we can look at that, but let's focus on the other items.
So we're gonna put that as later. That's fine. We know we have goals right now anyway, so.
That's right.
Okay, we're down to possible date to learn does everybody know Google Drive here except me and John, of course? Are you all good with it?
I'm
Can you go
good.
right on and if
Yeah.
you wanted to edit, you all know how to
I
edit?
think we're all good.
I don't think I'm added as edit though. I wanted to add some stuff that I found.
You
but
may
I
not have
couldn't add
that
it.
level of access.
Right,
So who?
yeah, I think
has-
I'm just view only.
I think if you talk with Rich if you send Rich an email, he'll update you.
Oh, Rich started it?
I think, well, he's the one who
It's-
gave me
it's-
access.
It's the
Oh,
town.
Chris, are you the
Yeah.
one that does it?
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, well,
Chris
Chris will
is the
do
one
it.
that does
I
it.
started, Rich gave me the folder, and I always call Rich for these, because it resides in the town system. Once he gives me the folder, I own it, or he owns it, or whatever, and then I start putting people in as it goes along. Yeah, I mean, I'll double check and see what your access is. So the question is, does everybody have, not everybody can have ownership, but people can have edit. What is
Yes.
it? Edit, comment, and something else, I can't remember what the third one is,
View.
view. right.
Yeah, so we should all have that. I mean, that's
Should-
a,
If you have edit, it allows you to upload. The only thing you can't do is delete.
Right.
Only the owners can delete. So should everybody on the committee have edit access?
I think so, I
That's
mean,
great.
I'm the idiot here, but,
Great. Matter
Um,
of fact, I'm really good at trading ownership away too, because I do so
oh,
many
that's
of
not
these.
good news.
So I would love to trade the ownership and send it to the chairperson.
No, you're not doing that, no.
Sure.
I'm not gifted enough.
Are you the owner still?
It's either me or Rich. I don't know who it is.
Okay, because I don't think I have access to the.
When I was
town
trying to add
either.
your email kept coming up and so, like clicking different things, trying to figure out if I just was remembering it wrong. So I think you have control.
All right, so I will school
email kept
myself
coming
on
up.
this Google Drive business.
Linda, what can I do to help you? Can I come out again sometime?
I'm going to take the last couple things you sent me and see if I can straighten myself out, and
Okay.
if I can't, I'm gonna ask for a lesson.
What I was trying to do is just give you access, so that you didn't have to
Yeah.
worry about
Do you-
developing stuff at that point.
do you have a Google email?
Yes,
Okay, so it all up in the left-hand corner, right-hand corner, you see a bunch of dots? Like
Yes.
it's like
Yeah.
a grid?
We
You
talked
click
about-
on it, and then you will actually see there's an icon that says Google Drive. Or you just click on it and you'll find it. That's it.
Well, it's in the shared with me at this point too. Once you get into the drive, it'll be in the shared with me folder.
Okay, but it's very,
But
very
it's right
simple.
there.
I think, you know how it is, you probably all are just as busy as you can be,
No,
you've
no,
got
no,
other things
no.
going on, so I just keep putting it off,
No,
you know.
It's okay. A lot of
So I'll
folks
get
have
on it.
trouble, myself included. with it.
And I'm so used to, I'll just do it in Word and email it to them,
Yeah.
I'm just used to that, you know.
Tell people that's fine too.
Um,
Emily, I'll check that when I get home.
so, Chris, then, can you check and make sure you gave everybody,
Yep,
like Emily needs edit,
Yeah.
everybody will have edit.
and Karen too, if she doesn't have it.
Right, I don't think I have it.
Yeah, everybody needs
And
it.
I'll double check on the ownership of the folder.
But you're not giving it to me, so don't you do it.
Yeah, I think, because Rich is the one who added me, so you might have, yeah.
He may still be the owner.
Yeah,
But then I couldn't, I mean, once I know the next time around I have a bunch of stuff to send, I can put it on there, right?
yeah, it's actually really important because then everybody can see everything and, you know, I think it's a really good way for us to communicate in one, because when you send emails, different versions go out and you lose it. It's not, it's
It
not.
can
able-
happen, right.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, Rich I sent this and asked him to make us the copies for today.
Yeah.
He's so good about stuff like that.
That was another thing we did at Great Pond when I got them going on it. No more paper. Everything, and the board didn't like it.
I
So
don't
it's-
like it. I
Well-
want paper. Well, I don't like paper either,
I
but
took
I
a
like it in
whole-
my hand at the meeting, you know?
I took a whole entire police department, it was a large one, paperless.
Wow.
I'm not a paper person, I think we're about trees and conservation and, you know, I think it's, but I do understand about highlighting and stuff like that, I do understand, but
I'm old school enough that if I read it, it's, you know, in my hand, it's more apt to stick
I
in my brain.
completely get it.
And I'll sit and go back through.
Yeah.
Which I guess you all go back through the stuff in the computer
Yeah.
till your eyes fall out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My eyes blur, that's the truth.
Yeah, they do.
They do it, they blur, like, at the end of the day, I have to like, I'm like, what's wrong?
Make my whole family get special blue light
Ah,
layer on their glasses.
that's
I
fine.
have
That
those
helps.
too, and they're great.
That's a good
Okay,
idea.
Yeah, it's a good idea. I do, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I'm getting old, I can't see any, I'm
Yes,
It's because
blurry
I'm-
eyes after a while, oh. So Chris, before we wrap up, I do wanna be sure that I am not misunderstanding something here about Jake. Do you think we failed him in some way?
absolutely
Because we
not.
didn't
No,
let him pursue what he thought was an what do I wanna say? Delayed goal?
No. No, I don't think we failed him in any way.
Because we did say we didn't think it was necessary at this time, right, Karen?
Right, we did.
Was it free?
Oh, no.
Oh,
No, we would have had to pay Jake.
Yeah.
But it was in the comprehensive plan that eventually, Chris, take the floor on that.
Well, there were goals, it was, the forestry plan again was put into the comprehensive plan. It's as simple as that, it wasn't anything revised from that, and the reason is because I know because I was there, in the comp plan. Those goals were already established in the forestry plan, he pursued following that, those goals, and the assumption that we were ready to do that.
And that was 2011 originally when those goals were formed, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
But he had a plan, he was addressing that comprehensive or forestry plan in the way that, you know, he knew that it's gonna meet these goals. And the committee at that point, I think I came on at the time, said no, they weren't ready to do that yet. And Jake did remind us, and I know this is being recorded, that the only reason this committee was meeting again is because he was pressing that issue.
Mm.
If I'm not mistaken, I remember.
No, that
he
is
sat there
true.
one day.
But after we met, no one was terribly ready to,
There was a reticence
To
to
do
get
that,
involved in
yeah.
cutting, especially at Silver Lake.
some cleaning. Emily, you weren't quite on board yet then.
for what?
When these, it was just before you joined us that discussion took place. And we saw the wonderful drone footage that Rich had done of that was the Silver Lake side though.
Yeah.
Not the Central Street
correct.
side. And, you know, there were a lot of blowdowns and a lot of dead fir and this kind of thing. But the trail was open and Karen and others had walked it and said they thought it was fine the way it was. You know, not necessary to go in and do a big project at that time. So we just kind of postponed it. But I didn't want to misunderstand what you as a committee felt.
No,
So you're not
it-
saying,
I brought up this Emerald Ash Borer at that point, somewhere around there, as
yes,
a concern for forestry issues. And his response was, if I'm not mistaken, is he didn't think that was necessary to deal with that now because he didn't want to get the people upset or wound up.
right. He felt that it would be, 5 to 10 years in his view.
Yep, and it may very well might be.
Before we would have tremendous loss.
Exactly, so.
And he wanted to do this first.
Exactly, he was interested in
Harvesting.
having that harvest out there at that point. But I don't think I'm not sure the committee had that in mind either.
Are we talking about from 2011? Or the one that, from this last time when I met him?
This last time, but he was basing that on the fact that he did the forestry work for us in 2011, did the
Okay.
plan, which included, after 10 years or whatever, I guess maybe,
But-
harvesting some of the timber.
But he also made the point to say that, opinions have changed at this point from that, you know, about whether you should take out, you know, leave it, what's better for the environment,
Right,
if the tree's laying down and what it does, and also he acknowledged that things have changed from 2011
Mhm.
and that opinion had changed. So I just, you know,
and Karen in particular said she didn't think, you know, he actually told us himself, when he took us back in 2011, we walked these properties with Jake and spent quite a bit of time with him. And he pointed out that, you know, the downed brush makes good rabbit hutches and,
yeah,
you know, does a lot for the environment and everything. So he had said those things himself.
yeah.
And I think now opinions are a little bit different about whether we see a lot of value in going in and harvesting.
Right, and he acknowledged that, he said that, you know, it's changed, so, I mean, as far as, I'm not sure, like, I think you're just worried that maybe you didn't do, you know,
I want to be sure that I got
Yeah.
everybody's actual opinion and that Chris doesn't feel like, well, maybe we
Alright.
should have had him come and,
No,
But I
I'm
mean,
fine, I'm very fine, I don't even, no, I'm happy, everything's great.
but
okay.
the other thing is that, are you talking about from 2011 or just recently?
No, recently.
Okay, okay, now I'm clear.
Okay,
I thought
sorry
I
about
was
that.
like, why are we talking about from 2011? Worried about that, but now I understand.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, this was a recent event that got this committee back on,
okay,
because I had actually fussed a little bit to Jackie, the
Yeah.
town clerk, and mentioned a couple of times, not to sue, I guess, but, you know, shoot, we never meet. We have a committee, I sign that I'm gonna be on it, and then we don't meet. So I was kinda glad that they
Yeah.
did get us
well,
going
we've been
again.
meeting
Well,
since
now
I've
we
been,
have,
yeah.
but we went like 3 years without a meeting.
Yeah, no, I think this is good.
So this is
I
good.
appreciate y'all.
All right, any other discussion items? Does everybody know what we're doing then? This next meeting, we want it to, we're not meeting with the town council,
Correct.
but we do want to meet with the,
With the
Resiliency.
resiliency, so you're gonna
resiliency.
reach out to Ralph,
I will,
and you'll CC us and just
and
say,
we wanna
hey,
meet when he's gonna have those
yes, if we can have some space.
advisors there, whatever they're
Yes,
called.
Yes, and we can, and that way we can answer some questions, that we can collaborate on,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the opportunity to maybe be part of the grant for the Emerald Ash Borer.
I do have one more, we'll do that, and I'm going to copy everybody just to,
Okay.
and for right now, it won't be Google till I get my, it'll
Okay.
just be an email.
Okay.
Oh dear, I just forgot what I wanted to ask you. Oh, about John. Should I contact him and see if he's ready to be done? He may be in Florida, but I'm not getting an answer from him.
Who's John?
John Christopher, he's been a member since way back. He was here once when you were here,
Is the
Sue.
guy, the other guy who
Was he here? Cause
Did
I
you
actually, it was just,
remember?
yeah, so it's funny, cause I was just looking at the names, I'm like, who are we missing?
Yeah.
Cause I thought there was more people here.
Well, Candy,
Candy.
Oh, Candy's not here today, that's right.
Candy's not here, but I don't,
she's usually good with answering, so
She
she
really
might be
is,
away too,
yeah.
so.
yeah, and I couldn't remember who else. I
John
thought,
and his wife do travel some, so they may be away, but do you all think that I should contact him and see if he wants to continue?
Wait,
Because
sure.
isn't there somebody,
Yes.
Emily, you told me would like to be on this committee?
I don't know.
A woman that's on the resiliency committee, I think.
Suzanne.
No, I was on
this just
I was on
happened.
this committee
Already
before
here.
that committee.
Right, this was
I
somebody
volunteered
last
you
time
for
we
that.
met that you mentioned would kinda like to be on, and I said, well, we don't have a spot.
Oh, no, we were talking about a council member. We were talking about Jen Tyrion. She
Oh,
was
that's
Jen,
right.
She said she was interested on being on this committee.
There we go.
She
I-
sat in
I
one
knew
of
I
our
didn't dream
meetings.
it.
Yeah, and I think I said that, cause she was sitting here
Yeah.
at one of the meetings and said, I would sit on the committee.
Okay,
So, cause we were thinking that we would need that
Town council.
town council to get the approval, whether she's on the committee or not, I think
right, because the
we're in a good-
bylaws say 7 people.
Right.
And I don't know if they'd make an exception for a counselor.
No, I asked them about that, and they were very vocal.
Adamant?
Yeah, they said, well, the next meeting, I wasn't at the next meeting, but they made sure that it was announced that there was no need for a council member to be on this committee.
Okay,
Yes, but can she be on it if she wishes?
Absolutely, but I asked the question, is it mandatory that every committee have a council member?
Oh, I see where
They
you were
said-
going.
They said
Right.
no on
Okay.
that one, and then he asked the council, does anybody here want to volunteer to be on that committee, and there was a loud silence.
Silence.
but then she
But-
came and she sat in on one of our meetings and she raised her hand and she said, oh, I didn't hear that question. That's what she said when you asked.
She's gonna be on the cemetery committee too, she's
Yeah.
on that one.
So do you think she still would like to do that if John were to say he doesn't want to
We can
continue?
reach out to her. Why don't you ask him? And if he says, I'm done, then we can maybe reach out to her and ask her.
Yeah, I'm gonna start with him, but, okay. I knew there was somebody, Emily. All right, I don't have anything else. Anyone else?
I'm good.
Thank you.
Would motion to adjourn?
Yes.
I will second.
Yep,
Okay.
very good. Excellent.